The pack frame was outstanding. There was a little comfort issue with the shoulder straps kind of digging into my neck, and I think I have a huge bruise. I haven't looked yet. Literally just got back to the folks. This stayed attached. This bled out dye, but stayed attached and held strong. There's a little bit of a variation in the lengths, so that caused issues. So I had some more pain on this side. This side I would have to hook with my thumb or my hand, you know, and pull it out, but just to keep the load off my back, because there was no waist belt. I did rig a waist belt, but I never tied it off, because with the weather and the rain, the snow, the sleet, and then snow and then sleet, there was no real time to just sit down and adjust, and you kind of I flustered myself into hasty repairs that took long. And anyways, with the there's no real sheltered areas to go to just sort yourself, and you couldn't just sort with quick adjust buckles or Fastex. So anyways, this was pretty amazing the way it held or carried a load. We weighed the pack at the end of the trip when Tom Jones and I got down to the parking lot after we had to turn around because of weather. I got down there, put this on, goat hide pack sack, and it was, I think it was 36 pounds, which blew me away. It felt a lot heavier, and the reason is because I usually have pretty, you know, high speed gear, so got a hip belt, and I've done, I don't know, hundreds, maybe even thousands of pack fits. Unbelievable amount of pack fits for different people and different groups. So this was like a whole new ball game. One thing, cold and wet, there was some slippage on these, so these would get caught in cattywampus. Right now they're tight. Like when I first tied them, I didn't use rawhide. I used elk hide, and then I did a Canadian jam, which I actually lost one here, I see, unless I just didn't do that. But there's a Canadian jam, just one, so it would be the frap, I guess. So I wrapped it with an X, and then that just hooks over. I'll do more on this later. This is going to be a lot of video fodder that I got out of this trip for sure. So anyways, unbelievable. This two bar system to lash the pack is probably the best pack board type system I've ever used. It's brilliant, it's amazing, and any theory on these being snowshoes, it has been for a while, but now for sure completely. I think Otzi had a pack, it was with a light load or possibly a small animal, or possibly it could have been blocks of ice he was hauling from the high mountain. I don't know, but the way this lashes on, you could put light birch bark containers, you know, like this. You can tie those, lash them right on there, over, under, boom, boom, boom. It's amazing. More on that later because I'm rambling, but I was blown away with that. This mulberry bark, not found in the Otzi fine complex, though the twining and braiding, there was evidence of all of that. So I use those techniques to make the straps, and it worked unbelievably great. Here again is a pack sack. I designed the pack sack so there's three elk hide ties here, and then this central line goes along the belly cut of the animal, and this toggle here, if I loosen that in, I could pull that belly cut line, which is loosely stitched out, and then it'll turn into basically a tunic type or a cape for extra warmth. So that was built into the mix. Again, not really found in the fine complex, as they say. I just like saying that. It sounds like Euro. So here's the leggings. This is This is the left, marked left, and marked right. The dark side, and there's some patchwork on the inner, because I cut it a little short. Patchwork on the inner. Again, the dark hide. His were more patches, or the people of that time, from the evidence found with him, it seems they were just utilized patches, leftovers from maybe other bits of clothing or whatever. But you can see here, stitched into the dark to fill in the gap, and need a little up here. So there's that. I didn't commit to putting a goat hide strap, so I used the elk hide again for this. Elk hide there, and then the belt fishes through there. There's a smaller leather belt that I used, and that held the loincloth up, and the outer belt, which was the classic Otzi belt with the pouch, which I have basically the same things he had in his pouch from what they found, and the mysterious marble. I think in warmer weather, like he was climbing in warmer weather, or hiking or walking, or just moving in warmer weather, this would be a great whisk for mosquitoes in the lower parts, and probably other uses. I don't think it was a game toggle. I think it was maybe even a bracelet, and that might have been where those marks on his wrist. There were some really dark marks, and they said there weren't tattoos, but there was tight. I have a similar bracelet I wore, I think in '92 when I came to Texas. I made a bracelet with tassel kind of fringes on it, and I put beads from bass fiddle, the metal strings, because we always use gut strings, but they gave us a supply of steel strings, so I'd cut the beads off the steel strings and basically chuck them. But because my bass player didn't use those, he used gut. So anyways, very similar. I twisted it, looked just like this. I think it was just a ornamental tassel, possibly part of the quiver, but as far as a game, that's what he used to hook his game, like a modern sling, or I've seen the game calls with the different chords. But I think it was simple. I think it was a whisk, like you see the African Bushmen use a lion tail to whisk flies and mosquitoes. I think it was something more like that. I've used it in that fashion in Texas, and it works outstanding. Here's the tinder fungus. Here's the knife. I used it a few times before the other guys got out. More on that, but I tried to use some of the skills of the time, because as soon as I got there, it was raining, and then it snowed, and then it rained, and then it snowed and sleeted, and then it rained. So I think you get the picture on that. It was pretty bad, so I had to get a tarp up and a fire up at the Whitney Portal campground right off the bat. So I tried to stick to primitive means. Here's some extra stuff. Just an extra scrap of bear hide and a raccoon skin. So that was all. This was all left. This had a camera battery in here. This is an old pouch I made from an old machete sheath that I made. I did bring this. I was hoping to do a cool pose on the summit with a flint tracker knife, but it's all good. This is Amadou tinder in this pouch. Let's see. This is a gift for the trip. My dad gave me these. They're old trapper gloves. He's not necessarily for the trip, but I did take them, and some rag wool finger gloves. So, but he gave me these so I could have a good pattern. But I think I'm just gonna leave them. The inner is sealskin, hair inside for the palm, and then this is, I believe, bear. So anyways, it's really cool. These are probably Canadian or like maybe like Inuit, um, native made. So, all right, we'll get to this. I did have to boot up. I knew that was going to be an option, but these are the finished shoes. I wore them around camp before the guys got there. Did a couple tests for before I left, and the Tweety Bird boots, but very similar to what was found on them. Other than I didn't use the hair hide. I used the deer hide that was no hair. So got a little care package. There's a few things in here that were just awesome. So the goat bowl, it's in my possession, and that is totally awesome. Definitely more on that later, and a few other things that showed up. This was going to be my cooking pot. Cooking pot, drinking cup, eating bowl, water storage at camp, kind of multi-purpose. It's a little heavy, but with my other gear, or a cook kit, it's probably less than my actual cook kit that I would use on a mountain like that, and with normal gear. This was a second option, but it was just a little too solid and a little too heavy. In this basket are all the little bits too that I took. I'm going to sort this out as I pull them out of the pouches and lashed to tabs and stuff. I put them in this bucket, so I'm going to do a little after action on that later. This was my cup. I did use it. The guys helped me out with a lot of things, and one of them was since in the blizzard when we were leaving, I did have this as a water container, but we had talked about that when we got water they would filter it, so they brought one like a pressure filter, and then I would use a canteen or a water bottle, like a water bladder. Anyways, what happened is in the blizzard when we were leaving, I left my water bottle and my Bota bag, which was a little more closer to like a traditional water, but I believe in those times if they wanted to drink, they would be working or near water sources. If they were working away, they would carry it maybe in like a bladder, like an actual animal bladder, or a tightly sewn hide, but or they would just drink directly out of the creek. But you can't do that nowadays, so that was another little modern twist we had to do, and there's going to be a lot more on that. I don't know, there's a lot of material here, so just hopefully I remembered all. I got 3 of the guys that helped me remember some of the stuff, so and hopefully get these up soon. But anyways, I just got back, so more on that. This was my bag of Mojo. Had the bottle in there. I did bring a little kind of, it's very light even though it is pottery, but let me see if I can get it out of here. This was my coffee kit. I just basically put instant coffee in there because another modern thing, but it's like a mezcal bottle, and I aged it before I left. There's a little piece of Amadou to seal it. This is a little shot glass, and then this was like a little mezcal bottle or something like that, like a little one shot. But I just put powdered dry coffee in there, the little singles. I can't remember, Maxwell House or whatever, but it was the strong, bold something. And then I put a couple of, which is more possibly maybe something, but some of the chicory type Sankas and stuff like that. I had like a little mixed bag. I don't know what was what, and I think I actually had some ground up chicory in there, and possibly dandelion, because I had a little collection bag of just natural coffee substitutes and stuff. So anyways, that's that. Here's the little bits. Here's the my That's my emergency whistle. It's really, if you get on, it's just a piece of bamboo. It's a piece of pan flute, actually. I always save these for little containers. Speaking of containers and pan flutes, this is one from an old pan flute, and I just made a little cork and then wrapped it so it's a little cork keeper. But this is just red ochre paint, which I was going to war paint up somewhere near the top. But anyways, this was one of the working knives too. Use that for a few things before left the main camp. Here's this is charcoal, just natural charcoal. Excuse me. Again, war paint and to possibly coal extender. So there's that. I'm going to do a lot more on this, and I'm just going to shut it down now because I really got to get this stuff kind of packed, and I'm going to be heading to Colorado here. My dad's having a yard sale, so you get a load of this. There's the shot. The house. So anyways, all right. Thank you. OpX out.